the law and balance of nature or existence, Lord Shiva took many avatars in various yugas. In Shiva Purana, the following 19 avatars of Shiva are mentioned. Pippalada Avatar. This avatar of Lord Shiva was born to sage Dadichi and his wife Swarcha. At the time when Dadichi gave up his life to donate his bones to Indra to help him defeat the demon Prithra, his wife Swarcha was pregnant with Pippalada. When Swarcha came to know about the death of her husband, she placed the infant Pippalada under a peepal tree. Then she committed suicide to reunite with her husband. The infant Pippalada was taken care of by Dadichi's sister, Dadimati. Pippalada was upset over the fact that his father died even before his birth. He was told by the Devas that the reason behind Dadichi's early death was the trouble of Shani on him. He wanted to avenge Shani Dev for causing trouble to his father during his lifetime. Pippalada cursed Shani Dev to not be a part of the universe anymore. As a result, Shani Dev fell from the galaxy. However, after the Devas intervened, Pippalada agreed to forgive Shani on the condition that none below 16 would get affected by his adverse effects. Shani, to save his life, promised the same and never troubled anyone below 16 years of age. Nandi Avatar. Nandi is described as the son of sage Shilada. Sage Shilad was a brahmachari or an ascetic and chose not to marry any woman. But on the request of his dead ancestors, he did severe penance to Lord Shiva to have the bone of a child. When Shiva, pleased by his penance, appeared in front of him, he requested for a child that was Ayonija, meaning one who was not born out of the womb, and an immortal one who forever has the blessings of Shiva. He then received Nandi as his son. It is said that Nandi was born from a yajna performed by Shilad, and his body was covered in an armor made out of diamonds. Nandi grew as an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and he did penance to become his gatekeeper as well as his mount. Veerbhadra Avatar. Veerbhadra is an extremely fierce and fearsome form of Shiva. Upon hearing the news that Sati had killed herself in the sacred fire of her father Daksha's yajna, Lord Shiva, in his deep sorrow and anger, plucked a lock from his hair and thrashed it to the ground. Veerbhadra was born from it. He was tall, with a muscular body reaching the higher heavens. He was as dark as the stormy clouds, with 3 burning eyes and fiery hair. He also wore a garland of skulls and carried weapons. Veerbhadra reached the place where Daksha was performing his yajna and destroyed everything. He beheaded Daksha for his sins. Sharabha Avatar. Shiva assumed the form of a part animal and part bird named Sharabha to tame down Narsimha, the most ferocious avatar of Vishnu. Sharabha Avatar had the body of an 8-legged lion, having 2 heads of a beast, 2 wings, and a long tail. After slaying Hiranyakashipu, Narsimha's wrath threatened the world. Shiva sent Veerbhadra to tackle Narsimha. When that failed, Shiva manifested as Sharabha. After failing at various polite attempts to calm Narsimha, Sharabha Avatar attacked Narsimha and tied him to his tail and immobilized him, thus eventually calming Narsimha's rage. Ashwathhama. Ashwathhama is said to be the Vish Purush sprung out of Shiva after he took halal during Samudra Manthan. He was granted a blessing that he would be able to kill oppressive Kshatriyas. He would be born as Bharadwaja's grandson and will be raised as a Brahmin but will be attracted to Kshatriyahood. When Acharya Drona did penance to obtain Shiva as his son, Shiva granted him the boon and his Vish Purusha was born to Drona and his wife Kripi. Ashwathhama was born with a mani or a diamond on his forehead. Ashwathhama is one of the 7 Chiranjeevis of Hinduism and is considered to be alive till date. Bhairava Avatar. The Bhairava Avatar is also one of the fiercest avatars of Lord Shiva. Referred to as Dandipani, the Bhairava Avatar punishes sinners who are greedy, lustful, and arrogant. The origin of Bhairav can be traced to a conversation between Brahma and Vishnu, which is recounted in the Shiva Mahapuran. In this story, Vishnu asked Brahma, who is the supreme creator of the universe. Arrogantly, Brahma told Vishnu to worship him as the supreme creator. One day, Brahma thought, I have 5 heads, Shiva also has 5 heads. I can do everything that Shiva does, and therefore I am Shiva. Brahma became egoistical as a result of this thought. Additionally, he began to forget his duties and started interfering in what Shiva was supposed to be doing. Therefore, Shiva threw a small hair from his head, which assumed the form of Kal Bhairava, that went on to cut off one of the heads of Brahma facing upwards. After cutting a head of Brahma, Brahma's ego was destroyed and he became enlightened. The skull of Brahma is held in the hands of Kal Bhairava. From then on, Brahma became useful to himself and to the world and deeply grateful to Shiva. But due to slaying one head of Brahma, Kal Bhairav was down with the sin of Brahmahatya and therefore had to go to Kashi to remorse for his sins. Durvasa Avatar. Durvasa was a great sage known for his short-tempered behavior and curses given to Indra, Saraswati, Rukmini, Shakuntala, etc. He was born to sage Atri and his wife Anasuya. According to chapter 4 of Brahmanda Puran, Brahma and Shiva got into a heated quarrel. Shiva became violently enraged when the Devas fled from his presence in fear. His wife Parvati complained that Shiva was now impossible to live with his infuriating nature and rage. Realizing the chaos his anger had caused, Shiva deposited his anger into Anasuya, the wife of sage Atri. From this ansh of Shiva deposited into Anasuya, a child was born named Durvasa. The name Durvasa literally means the one who is difficult to live with. Lord Shiva took Durvasa Avatar for maintaining the discipline of the universe. Grihapati Avatar. A Brahmin named Vishwanara and his wife Shuchismati lived on the banks of Narmada river. Even after a long period of married life, they did not have any children, so they proceeded to Kashi and prayed to Lord Shiva. Shiva appeared before Vishwanara, blessed him, and promised him to take birth as his son. In due course of time, Shuchismati gave birth to a beautiful child. Lord Brahma named the child Grihapati. He started learning the Vedas in the traditional way, and within 1 year he became proficient in all the Vedas and other sacred texts. When Grihapati attained the age of 9, Narad Muni came and said that Grihapati would not live for long. Grihapati then consoled his parents and proceeded to Kashi to do penance in order to avoid death. In Kashi, Grihapati found an auspicious place and placed a Shivaling there. Besides the Shivaling, he commenced his penance with prayers. On knowing about the act of Grihapati, Lord Indra arrived there and blessed him. He asked him to demand anything and the boon shall be granted. However, Grihapati refused to demand anything. Indra became furious upon this and tried to attack him with his Vajrayuddha. Grihapati, now scared for his life, began praying to Lord Shiva for protection. Immediately Lord Shiva appeared before him. On seeing Bholenath, Indra was forced to retreat from the scene. Mahadev blesses Grihapati with a long life and assures him that no weapon would be able to kill him. Hanuman Avatar. Hanuman, born to Anjani and Kesari, is one of the central characters of the epic Ramayana and is the ultimate devotee of Vishnu's 7th avatar, Sri Ram. Hanuman is also called the son of the deity Vayu because of the legends associated with Vayu's role in Hanuman's birth. Hanuman is considered to be one of the 7 Chiranjeevis of Hinduism who will live on earth till the end of Kali Yuga. Vrishabha Avatar. The churning of the great oceans brought numerous things. In fact, there was a fierce battle between the demons and the deities over the vessel of Amrit. Lord Vishnu tricked all the Asuras by creating an illusion of an enchanting beauty. When the Asuras took note of them, they forcibly carried them to their abode Patal Lok. After that, they came back to take control of the Amrit. However, the Devas had already taken the Amrit. Lord Vishnu went to Patal Lok, but he was caught up in Maya and fathered many immoral sons who went on to create a ruckus for the gods. To get rid of these cruel sons of Vishnu, Lord Shiva assumed the form of an ox known as Vrishabha and killed all the brutal sons of Vishnu. However, Lord Vishnu came to fight the ox. Still, he returned to his abode after realizing that it was an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Yatinath Avatar. Once there was a tribal man, Ahuk. He, along with his wife, was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. It so happened that Lord Shiva visited them in the form of Yatinath to test the tribal couple who were known for their hospitality. They had a small hut that could not accommodate Lord Shiva as a guest, so Ahuk had to go and sleep outside. However, unfortunately, Ahuk was killed by a wild animal. Instead of mourning, his wife took pride in him for giving away his life for the sake of a guest. But to be one with her husband, his wife decided to end her own life as well. Pleased by the couple's devotion, Lord Shiva blessed them by saying that they would be born as Nala and Damayanti in their next birth. Krishna Darshan Avatar. Krishna Darshan Avatar of Lord Shiva appeared to emphasize the importance of yajna and the importance of remaining detached. During his childhood, King Nabhag left his home for Gurukula to get education. In his absence, his brothers got all the wealth of the kingdom and distributed it amongst themselves. When Nabhag returned home after the completion of his education, he demanded his share of wealth from his brothers. His brothers told him that they had forgotten to assign his share and advised him to go and meet their father. Nabhag went to his father and made the same request. His father advised him to go to sage Angiras, who was trying to accomplish a yajna but was not able to complete it because of his attachment. Nabhag went to the place where sage Angiras was performing his yajna and preached sage Angiras on the virtues of religiousness. As a result, he became free from all sorts of attachment and the yajna was successfully completed. Sage Angiras was very pleased by Nabhag's knowledge of religion. He gave all the remaining wealth of the yajna to Nabhag. Just then, Lord Shiva appeared in his Krishna Darshan avatar and tried to prevent sage Angiras from donating the wealth to Nabhag. Instead, he claimed his own stake. Nabhag told Lord Shiva that since the wealth was given to him by sage Angiras himself, it naturally belonged to him. Lord Shiva then sent Nabhag to his father Shraddhadev to know about his opinion. Nabhag went to his father, who revealed to him that the person who was claiming the stake on the wealth was none other than Lord Shiva. He also told him that whatever remained after the accomplishment of the yajna belongs to Lord Shiva only. Nabhag was now satisfied. He went back to Lord Shiva and narrated everything what his father had said. Krishna Darshan Avatar showed Nabhag the significance of higher spiritual attainment and salvation, and hence gave blessings. Bhikshuvarya Avatar. As the name suggests, in the Bhikshuvarya Avatar, Lord Shiva appeared as a beggar to save the child of a king named Satyaratha. Once, a beggar was passing by a child who had just taken birth near the banks of a river where his mother had died. While the newborn was crying, a woman nearby hesitated to take the child. Shiva, then in his Bhikshuk form, advised the woman to take the child and bring him up. Sureshwar Avatar. This avatar of Lord Shiva appeared in Indradev's disguise to test the devotion of a young boy. Once, a child named Upamanyu, the son of sage Vyagrapal, meditated to please Lord Shiva. Shiva, with an intention to test his devotee, appeared there with his wife Parvati, both disguised as Indra and Indrani. They not only attempted to instigate him against Shiva, but also promised to bless him and fulfill all his wishes. However, this could not lure the boy into moving his devotion away from Shiva, and his dedication to Shiva was tested to be true. Pleased by this, both the deities revealed themselves and blessed the child. Keerat Avatar. In the Keerat Avatar, as a hunter, Lord Shiva appeared to test the bravery of Arjuna. When the Pandavas were in exile, Arjuna meditated to seek Lord Shiva's Pashupath. As he was meditating, a demon named Muka transformed into a boar to kill Arjuna. Lord Shiva's Keerat Avatar and Arjuna both killed the boar with their respective arrows at the same time. A fight broke between Keerat and Arjuna as to who struck the boar first. Arjuna challenged Keerat for a duel. Keerat, pleased by Arjuna's valor, gifted him Pashuphat. Initially, Arjuna couldn't recognize Lord Shiva, but eventually he realized that only Lord Shiva could give him the Pashuphat and be a better archer than him. Suntantarka Avatar. The Suntantarka Avatar of Lord Shiva appeared in front of Himavan, the Himalayan king, in his court and danced with his damru. In the end, he put forward a marriage proposal and expressed his desire to marry Parvati. Brahmachari Avatar. When Sati took the form as Parvati, she performed intense penance to please Lord Shiva. Shiva appeared before her as a brahmachari. He hurled abuses at Shiva to test Parvati's devotion and determination to marry him. And Parvati, who loved Lord Shiva more than anyone else, gave a fitting reply to the brahmachari. Eventually, Lord Shiva revealed himself and agreed to marry Parvati. Yaksheshwar Avatar. The Yaksheshwar Avatar of Lord Shiva appeared to crush the pride and ego of the Devas after they consumed Amrit, the divine nectar of immortality, from Samudra Manthan. He asked them to cut a blade of grass, and they failed to destroy it even with all their combined powers. Subsequently, the Devas apologized to Lord Shiva. Avadhoot Avatar. Lord Shiva appeared as Avadhoot to crush the ego of Indradev. Once, Indra and Brihaspati were traveling to Mount Kailash. Lord Shiva appeared as a naked beggar and blocked their path. The duo couldn't recognize Lord Shiva in disguise, and Indra asked the Lord to move out of their way. To his utter dismay, Lord Shiva did not move. An enraged Indra raised his Vajra to kill the beggar, but Lord Shiva paralyzed Indra with his gaze of the third eye. The realization dawned upon Indra and Brihaspati and later directed Indra to apologize to Lord Shiva.